Hi everybody, welcome back to All Things Literature. I thought I would do this video for you on the outside. Alright, just to add variety to the ambiance. Yes. Alright, so we are going to get into chapter 13 of the story. I should have mentioned in chapter 12 that a biblical allusion was made. I'm not sure if you all saw it, where Sophie thinks about, she remembers a story about the woman who had the issue of blood for 12 years and all of that. That is a biblical allusion. We all know that. We all went to Sunday school. We know our Bible stories, and we know that we've heard the story of the woman who had the issue of blood, and she just wanted to touch Jesus's robe, and she got through the crowd and got to touch his robe, just the hem of his robe, and instantly she was healed. Right? So that in itself right there in the text, chapter 12, it's a biblical allusion. The 12 years and the chapter that it was placed in, I think that has some amount of significance. Alright, so chapter 13. Great gods in Guinan, you are beautiful, the driver said as he stopped under a breadfruit tree in the middle of the sheds, stands, and clusters of women in the open marketplace. I lowered my head and pretended not to hear, but he persisted. I would crawl inside your dress and live there. I can feed on your beauty like a leech feeds on blood. I would live and die for you. More than the sky loves its stars, more than the night loves its moon, more than the sea loves its mermaids. Strike me, thunder, it's no lie. We do not know one another, I know. Still, I must tell you, you can be the core of my existence, the I of my we, the first and last letter of my name, which is yours, your humble servant and transporter. It was a stifling August day. The sun, which was once God to my ancestors, slapped my face as though I had done something wrong. The fragrance of crushed mint leaves and stagnant pee alternated in the breeze. Body raking conker blared from the car radio as passengers hopped off the colorful van in which I had spent the last 4 hours. The sides of the van were painted in streaming reds, from cherry scarlet to crimson blood. Giraffes and lions were sketched over a terracotta landscape, as though seeking a tint of green. I wouldn't have gotten the coveted seat next to the driver had it not been for what he termed my young charcoaled cloaked beauty. Otherwise, I would have been forced to sit with the market women, their children, livestock, wicker baskets, and the flour sacks that shielded their backs from the sugarcane stalks. Dieu est si bon, proclaimed the letters on the van's front plate. God is good indeed. Otherwise, my daughter Bridget and I would have never made it this far. A wonderful trip, Pave? Asked the driver as he unloaded my suitcase. At least we arrived, I said. It is not my fault, lovely star, if we rocked a little. There are dunes and ridges on the road that I did not put there. I'm not blaming you for those. On the contrary, I am very grateful we arrived safely. All my trips have not been safe. You must be an angel. You bring good blessings. I have been in a ravine or two in the past. And your passengers? I would hope they are in heaven. He peeled a white t-shirt off his chest. Sweat rolled in dancing ripples from his neck to his belly. You hot too? He asked. It's dangerous for a woman to undress in public, I said. Still, I would love to see if you look like a goddess naked. Is there any way you can be persuaded? I'm a married woman. I see that, he said, pointing first to my wedding ring and then to my daughter. She is as perfect as you are, the child. Ou bien gentil. You are very kind. I find your Creole flawless, he said. This is not my first trip to La Nouvelle d'Amérique. I was born here. I still commend you, my dear. People who have been away from Haiti fewer years than you, they return and pretend they speak no Creole. Perhaps they can't. Is it so easy to forget? Some people need to forget. Obviously, you do not need to forget, he said. I need to remember. An old hunchbacked lady walked over to pay her fare. He straightened out the dirty girths and counted them quickly. She walked to the back of the van and pointed out her load of sorghum to a sweaty teenage boy. The boy had a burre, a handcart made out of 2 tires and a slab of plywood. He had a group of helpers, younger lads with dust-crusted feet. A younger boy followed them with a kite. He ran ahead, tugging the kite string, trying to force it to fly above his head. The old woman nearly tripped over the kite as it crashed to the ground. Bridget stirred in my arms. She opened her eyes, fluttered her long eyelashes, and then closed them again. A mild breeze rustled the guava trees that lined the unpaved road. The breeze swept the soil from the hills down to the valley, back to my grandmother's home. Bridget opened her mouth widely, stretching her lips to their limits as she yawned. I think Mademoiselle needs to eat again, the driver said. He was looking across the road at a woman sitting in a stand that was the size of a refrigerator. She was plump and beautiful, with a bright rosette complexion. She had a sky blue scarf wrapped around her head and 2 looped earrings bouncing off her cheeks. It was Louise, Man Grace's daughter. At the window in front of her was a row of Coca-Cola bottles. While you wait for your people, would you like something to drink? Asked the driver. I could drink an ocean, I said. If Mademoiselle over there is selling an ocean, I will surely buy it for you. The female street vendors called to one another as they came down the road. When one merchant dropped her heavy basket, another called out in concern, Oulibert, are you free from your heavy load? The woman with the load would answer yes if she had unloaded her freight without hurting herself. I sat in the shade of a crimson flamboyant tree at the turn of the forked road. Bridget quickly tightened her lips around the bottle of milk that I gave her. She sucked the warm liquid as though she hadn't been fed for days. A few tonton macoutes climbed into the van and settled in the empty seats to eat their lunch. The steaming banana leaves and calabash bowls were in sharp contrast to their denim militia uniforms. They laughed loudly as they threw pieces of grilled meat and small biscuits at each other. I have a pig to sell you, whispered a voice behind me. I was startled. My body plunged forward. I tightened my grip on Bridget and nearly pushed the bottle down her throat. Bridget began to cry, spitting the milk out of her mouth. Do you have all your senses? I shouted at the woman. Her face was hidden behind the flamboyant's drooping branches. I raised Bridget over my shoulder and tapped her back to burp her. Pardon, Louise said, walking out from behind the tree. I did not mean to scare you. The driver was sitting at the stand in her place, collecting coins and popping the caps off before handing foaming bottles to her customers. I rocked Bridget until she quieted down. I have a pig, Louise said, sitting on the rusty grass patch next to me. The tree bark scraped my back as I tried to slide upright. Will you look at my pig? She insisted. I look at you, I see one who loves all God's creatures. I have no use for a pig, I said. It's a peer, a steal for 500 girds. I don't need one, I said, shaking my head. Please, have you seen my Tantati? I know you, I do, she said. You know Ati too. For sure, I know Ati. We are like milk and coffee, lips and tongue. We are two fingers of the same hand, two eyes on the same head. Do you know where she is? She was supposed to meet me here. I sent her a cassette from America. How is there? Her eyes were glowing. Is it like they say, large, grand? Are there really pennies on the streets and lots of maids' jobs? Muere, Louise? I know who you are. My mother was Man Grace. I know, I said. Gone. My mother is dead now, she said. She's in Guinea ahead of me. Now I know you too. You are Sophie. Ati can never make herself stop talking about you. I'm teaching Ati her letters now, and all she can write in her book is your name. I hope she'll recognize me when she sees me. Folks like Ati know their people the moment they lay eyes on them. I've changed a lot since the baby. I bet she has changed too. Ati, that old maid change? You are friends, you say? We are both alone in the world since my mother died. What could be keeping Tantati? I wondered out loud. The wind will bring her soon, it will. Can I ask you a question? What is it? What do you do in America, Sophie? What is your profession? I am Dactylo, I said. Kisa? A secretary. You make money? I haven't worked since I had the baby. Had enough for this journey? No? I didn't plan on this journey. I laid Bridget on my lap. Her cheeks swayed back and forth like flesh balloons. I want to go to America, Louise said. I'm taking a boat. It is very dangerous by boat. I have heard everything. It has been a long time since our people walked to Africa, they say. The sea, it has no doors. They say the sharks from here to there. They can eat only Haitian flesh. That is all they know how to eat. Why would you want to make the trip if you've heard all that? Spilled water is better than a broken jar. All I need is 500 girds. I know the other side. Thousands of people wash up on the shores. They put it on television, in newspapers. People here too. We pray for them. Stop. Let us stop talking. So sad. It is bad luck in front of a baby. How old is your baby? I reached out and tickled Bridget's forehead. 20 weeks. The birthing? What it feel like? Like passing watermelons. Boy, she cringed. You look meek, bony. Not like women here who eat to fill a hole after their babies come out. When you were pregnant, you didn't eat corn so the baby could be yellow? I never thought of that. You should have eaten honey so the hair would be soft. I will remember that. The next time, maybe? Maybe. Your daughter, what is her name? Bridget Ive Woods. Woods? It is not a Haitian name. No, none. Her father, he is American. She called the boy with the kite over and squeezed a penny between his muddy fingers. With a few whispers in the child's ear, she sent him dashing down the road. She rushed across to her stand and came back with a bottle of papaya cola. My whole body felt cooler as the liquid slipped down my throat. I know you will pay me later, she said. Tantati was standing at the crossroads with a very wide grin on her pudgy face. She had not changed at all. She walked with her hand supporting her back as if it hurt her. A Panama hat tightly covered her head. On her shoulder was a palmetto sewing basket, flapping against her wide buttocks. She must have been on the way, Louise said. Mom, when? I shouted to Tantati, I'm over here. Tantati raced towards us. She had to look at me closely to see the girl she had put on the plane. It seemed so very long ago. The years had changed me. You are already chewing off my niece's ear, she said, tapping Louise's behind. Always trying to give away your soul. Louise sprang back to her stand. I would throw myself around you, my aunt said. I would, just like a blanket, but I don't want to flatten the baby. I handed Bridget to her as I raised myself from the ground. Who would have imagined it? She said. The precious one has your mama's black face. She looks more like Martine's child than yours. Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for another reading. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section. Thank you. Bye.